People's all in the room. Okay. Make sure it gets a shot of my PowerPoint. Okay.
Okay. Did you find her? You'll find her.
Okay. Hi guys.
Hi.
All right. Did you know that women still get paid 78% of what their male counterparts earn at the same job? Did you know that this figure hasn't budged in more than a decade? And you can see on here, it goes down even more for women of color, as well as women who have disabilities. Strides in equality for women have been slow in the United States, but in other countries, it's virtually non-existent. While women continue to fight for equal pay and positions long reserved for men in the U.S., girls in countries all over the world are forced into marriages, neglected based on their gender, or generally disregarded. Most of us may think, this isn't happening to me, why should I care? What can I really do to help? Knowledge is power, a power many young women have been denied their entire lives. Use your prosperity to help people grow, but I'll visit that later. According to advocatesforyouth.org, harmful practices including female genital cutting and mutilation, femicide, gender-based violence, and early marriage damage girls' physical being and self-worth by reinforcing gender-based marginalization and inequality. In America, we rarely, if ever, hear of genital mutilation, but it is a pervasive tradition in some African countries. Women are taught from a young age that their vaginas are something to be ashamed of. The kinds of mutilation they subject young children to can involve the removal of the clitoris, or even worse. These sorts of traditional procedures have no medical benefit. And in fact, they can lead to all sorts of complications. An even more alarming fact from the World Health Organization shows that these procedures are done by medical professionals in 18% of the cases, despite the operation being classified as against the human rights of women and young girls. This picture is of a girl who's being mutilated. I couldn't show the rest of the picture because of obvious reasons. I want to lighten the tone a little bit and refer to a video I viewed recently. This TED Talks video was done by an inspirational woman who focused on issues surrounding women around the world. In her speech, she talked about a young woman in rural China who persevered against all the odds to be able to attend school. She went on to accounting school and started a fund for young women from her village to attend as well. All it took was one person believing in this young girl and aiding her parents to pay the $8 a month for school. She changed the lives of girls in her village with one change enacted by someone else. That's what you can do. As the saying goes, be the change you wish to see in the world. In the United States, the issue of domestic violence towards women has come into the news lately. An NFL player beats his wife, and now it's an issue. Coming from a home where I experienced intimate partner violence on a daily basis, I can promise it's a more widespread issue than the media likes to let on. According to the Huffington Post, more than 4 million women a year are victims of some kind of domestic violence. As with most issues surrounding women's equality, the problem can be deterred with education. Education of men on how to deal with ingrained attitudes towards women, and education of women to show them their worth and to teach them what is not an acceptable way to be treated. Worth is something that many women believe they lack. These ingrained and reinforced feelings lead to a lesser position in society. Because of this, all over the world, girls as young as 3 are being sold into sex trafficking. A startling statistic shows that 1 child in 6 who runs away in the United States is likely to fall victim of sex trafficking. The figure worldwide is over 4 million, more than half of which are girls or women. Why aren't these women being protected? Why is it so easy for someone to sell another human being? Because in most countries, women are seen as less than human. Traffickers use websites such as Backpage and previously Craigslist to pimp out or sell their captives. Action has been taken, but it isn't enough. 3 years ago, Craigslist suspended their adult job forum, no longer giving these people the forum to peddle their wares. But where one leaves, 3 more show up in its place. Sites like Backpage still go unmonitored and continue to be a way stop for those peddling flesh. That's an alarming figure. This is for people who think that human trafficking is only a other country problem. These different numbers are from small points in the years where they found things. This was only from 2006 to 2008. This was just from November to June. You can see all these numbers. It's alarming, and it happens in our backyards. But there's hope for all women. While equality in pay is the public directive for the women in the United States, other groups in the states are doing their part to contribute to the well-being of women all over. The Polaris Project, at the top, focuses on rescuing women and children who have been victims of human trafficking, offering a text line for those unable to make phone calls. When Georgia Smiled is a pet project of Robin McGraw, wife of TV's Dr. Phil, that developed a phone app to help aid women who are victims of domestic violence. This app is disguised so abusers won't notice it, and it can even send a pre-selected text to the cops if your situation becomes too dangerous. Visibility is our best weapon in combating gender inequality. By setting a good example, we can all do our part to help those who need it. Locally, there's a women's shelter, Women in Distress. When I was younger, I used to volunteer there and see the destruction a misogynist society can do. In this day and age, there's no excuse for harming a woman based on sex, just like any other minority. I hope you guys enjoyed it.